I love crafting homemade Christmas ornaments because I can make them specific to what I like. I kind of like that country Christmas kind of feel, and I've done some little ornament balls out of these same colors. So I thought I would make some to match it. This is actually a fun design that one of my friends of mine showed me, and I thought I would show it to you. It's a really fun, easy design to do, no sewing involved. Step one is just to pick out your fabrics. I really like having a variety of fabrics for this and then being able to just kind of mix and match. You can use one color for the whole thing, 2 different colors, 3 different colors, 4 different colors. It's completely your choice and kind of fun to play with. If you want to do a small star, which is actually my favorite size, it would be 3 inches by 13 inches. If you want to do a medium one, like what I did, it would be 3.5 inches by 13.5 inches. If you want to do a large star, it would be 4 inches by 14.5 inches. Using a fabric stiffener like Stiff and Quick is a must if you're making the medium to the larger stars. If you're doing the smaller ones, it's a little more optional, but I really like having my fabric nice and stiff for this. It makes it hold together much better. To use the fabric stiffener, spray both sides of the fabric and then set it aside to dry. It can take a number of hours, so this step would have to be done well in advance. If you're in a little bit more of a hurry, you could use a blow dryer. Now I'll iron the strips so that they look like really big bias tape. I want to iron them in half and then fold the edges into the center and iron them again, which I do both on the one side and then on the other, so that all the raw edges are folded into the center and not showing at all. And I'll go through and do this with all of my different colors of fabric. And then at that point, I go through and I choose which ones I want to put together. And then I'll fold the strips I'm going to use until they're almost folded in half, until one side is just about 1 inch longer than the other one. I'll lay all 4 strips with the shorter ends facing up and start weaving them together so that each strip is sandwiching the previous one. When I'm doing this, I'll lay them all down with the longer portion on the bottom. The first strip I'll place with the folded side towards me, and the second one I'll place with the folded side away from me. Then I'll take my next strip and I'll open it up like I would an alligator or something, and I'll have it go over the folded side of the one strip, and then I'll have it go through the center of the next strip. Then I'll take my 4th strip and do it above the one that I just pulled through and have it sandwich over the one that's on the left and then go directly through the one that's on the right. And then I can pull everything down nice and tight, and I usually flip it over and pull it nice and tight there too. Now I'll take those longer strips and just kind of weave them over each other. So I'll fold the one on the right to the left, fold the one on the bottom to the top, fold the one on the left to the right, and then I'll fold the one on the top down to the bottom. But when I take it down to the bottom, I'll use tweezers or something to grab it and pull it through that first one that I folded over. And then I'll pull it nice and tight again, making sure that everything is secure. After getting everything tightened up, I use an iron on the top, flip it over, do an iron on that side as well. This just kind of helps hold it together a little bit. You could wait until later, but I really like those edges to remain crisp. I feel like it holds it tight better. Now it's time to start putting my points in. I'll start by grabbing the top right-hand strip and folding it over towards the right, making a small triangle. And then I'll fold it down next to my little square, making another triangle. At this point, I need to trim my tail so that it's not any bigger than the little pocket that I'm going to tuck it into. I'll show you that in just a second. So I'll trim it down until it's about 3/4 of the way through where that next strip would be. And then I fold the triangles over on each other, or fold the big triangle in half if you want to look at it like that, and use my tweezers to tuck the tail into the little pocket that was made when I was doing my weaving. I'll then rotate my star and I'll repeat this process. I fold over the upper right hand strip. I fold it down next to the square. I trim it. I fold it over on top of the other triangle, and then I tuck it into the pocket. And I'll repeat this on the third and fourth side of this. Then I'll flip over my entire star, and I'll repeat that again. I take my strip, it's the only one that's left now, and I turn it to the right, and then I turn it down, trim it, and then I fold it over on the triangle bit, and then I tuck it down into the pocket. You'll notice that there's one area that's a pocket, and then there's another area that's just a strip going across, and you want it in the pocket portion, which should be that upper right hand area. I'll then repeat this process on the following 3 sections. Now that the star is all done, I just check it over once, make sure that nothing needs to be tucked in anymore, and then I take my iron and I go over it one more time on each side. And then I take glue. You can do a glue gun or fabric glue and just put it down inside where the little pockets were, and that keeps it from coming undone later. You only need a little bit though. Then I use a large darning needle and some embroidery floss, and I poke it through the top edge of my star so that I have my string. I tie that at the top, and then it's ready to go. These are really kind of fun to do, and they're not that hard. I'd say the age range is probably 8 and older. Otherwise, they just need a little bit of help. Sometimes the folds can be a little bit difficult for them. I also recommend some kind of hemostat or something. I was a nurse, so I have hemostats around, but I really like that for pulling that through and tucking it in. But tweezers will work as well.